The protein's name is a Kunitz-type serine protease inhibitor.
Wow.
This was found in COVID-19 patients. This is what was causing people to actually have blood clotting occurring with COVID-19, and it made them heparin resistant. This is what you're seeing published. It wasn't the only one. They also found a cone snail protein from their venom in the COVID-19 patient's blood and feces that was also a Kunitz-type serine protease from the California cone snail. And this is what I wanted to show. This is what it is. Kunitz-type serine proteases. They're doing this research all over the world. It's being funded by the Department of Defense. It's actually being funded by the Wellcome Trust Fund, and it's being funded by the World Health Organization all over the world. I want to show you this. There is an antidote, and they know it, to this blood clotting, and I want to show you what they know. Judy Mikovits said this in the Plandemic. She said, Suramin is the antidote to COVID. That's what she said. I pulled her aside in January of 2022, and I said, how did you know this? How did you know it was a antidote to snake venom? And she goes, I didn't know that. She knows it's an antiviral. Look at this. Suramin, this study in 2007. Suramin, which is a drug owned by Bayer. Suramin effectively prevented venom-induced clot formation both in vitro and in vivo. 2007. I'm going to keep going here. In addition, Suramin was also found that it inhibits several blood clotting proteins, including factor 5, factor 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 in 2004 and 1992. Some studies have demonstrated that Suramin may interfere with some snake venom pharmacological effects. In fact, in some cases by acting on specific molecules such as the neurotoxic effect of bungarotoxin, which is crate venom. What was the original source of COVID? The Chinese researcher said it was venom from the crate snake called bungarotoxin. And then in France, in April of 2020, they found bungarotoxin to be identical to the spike protein on COVID, along with cobra toxin. And Judy Mikovits said, Suramin's the antidote. Oh my God, they published this in 2007. But look at this. Look at this, and this is important. Mike, it's important to Daniel that all of you see this in the same Suramin as an antidote to the blood clotting factor and neurotoxic effect of venoms. They published. Similarly, we have previously demonstrated that the association of a plant-derived thrombin inhibitor, glycyrrhizin, how do you say that, Mike?
Glycyrrhizin, it comes from licorice root.
That's exactly right.
Oh, wow. They
found it, along with low doses of an antibothropic serum, displayed a synergistic action against this Jararaca viper out of Brazil's venom-induced thrombus formation.
Wow.
Now, I went to the study in 2006 that they're referencing, and it titles The Counteracting Effect of I don't even know how you say that word. Say it again.
Glycyrrhizin.
Glycyrrhizin. I've never known how to say it.
And by the way, glycyrrhizin protects the liver from Tylenol damage when combined with alcohol. So this is a liver protective, which makes total sense about what you're talking about, because a lot of these snake venoms attack and destroy liver cells as well. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I love it. This is why I like having these conversations with people, because you know stuff I don't know. You can share it, and then we can figure out ways to apply this information to help people. I'm praying. So they're studying and publishing the effects of glycyrrhizin from licorice root, stopping the blood clotting effects of venoms. And they publish here at the end of the study. In fact, it was shown that this glycyrrhizin from licorice root binds to the so-called anion binding exosite on thrombin. So a receptor on the outside of thrombin that causes blood clotting, fibrous blood clotting in humans, a region that is important for the recognition of macromolecular substrates such as fibrinogen.
Wow.
There is,
that is truly amazing.
To me, it's amazing. And it says that there is no evidence of similar regions on thrombin-like enzymes from snake venoms. It's in humans. We should be using this glycyrrhizin substance out of licorice root. And this is published at the end of their study also. This is the British Journal in 2006. They said this glycyrrhizin inhibited venom-induced platelet aggregation. And then in the final conclusions, glycyrrhizin inhibited the human fibrinogen clotting and platelet aggregation induced by this Jararaca venom in vitro. It is my opinion we should be focusing on antidotes that they are publishing. They know in studies when they're looking at what we have created in science. isolated from nature that can cause blood clotting and prevent your body from breaking it down and prevent drugs like heparin and warfarin from doing the same thing. But they actually disclose that there's a drug patented and owned by Bayer called Suramin that we don't really have access to in America. Judy told me only the heads of the federal government has access to this drug. But glycyrrhizin from licorice root is proven to inhibit the same blood clotting factors.
But Dr. Ardis, in addition to what you just said, it's not just the blood clotting; it's also the fibrinogen, which could, is forming its own clot, even absent, let's say, red blood cells, right? So remember that a lot of these clots that we're looking at, they don't have the iron of red blood cells. And so, I mean, you've really just nailed something huge here. I wasn't aware that licorice root glycyrrhizin could stop the binding of these venoms to the fibrinogen receptors. That is huge. I just learned something right here today too. Thank you.
To me, it was phenomenal. It's funny when I showed this to Henry either. He goes, "Oh my God, I drink licorice root every day in my tea, and I have for years." He's like, "Hopefully this was helpful to protect me the last pandemic of 3 years." And I'm like, "I guarantee you it was." So these are some of the principles we want to be able to come up with possible solutions from what they publish and find in labs and in vivo that works. Doesn't work. This is phenomenal info, I hope, and can help us.
It is phenomenal. And can I add that, research has come out recently, Dr. Peter McCullough talked about it too, that the shedding effect is very, very real. Any sharing of body fluids, saliva, breast milk, semen, which sounds like a weird Friday night party at certain parts of the country. But whatever they're doing, if they're getting spike protein, that shedding is very real. So sorry to throw my weird humor into this in the middle of that, but
you fit right in, Mike.
No, but folks, I mean, if you're going to be intimate with somebody, you got to make sure they're unvaccinated, or you got to take precautions. I don't mean condoms. I mean like licorice root and other things like that. I mean, think about it, right?
Yeah. And Mike, This is my thought. Imagine, Mike, if we could seriously, can you